Welcome back to Studio F on Fast Times with Willy B. We will be reviewing the Wolfman 1941 as we prepare for Wolfman 2025. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Russell!
Welcome back to Fast Times with Willy B. I'm Willy B. I've got Kory with me. Kory, you okay?
Yeah, I think I'm good. I think I had a panic attack. I thought I was turning into a man wolf, but turns out it's just gas.
It's actually a full moon tonight, which is kind of crazy that
Yes, it is.
the week of the full moon, Wolfman's coming out.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, on discussing film.
We're going to celebrate that and talk about all the Wolfman movies we can talk about this week.
As many
I want
as
to
possible.
start in December of 1941 with George Wagner's The Wolfman, Universal Monster. I put you onto this movie, in our first
2
31 nights. Not
years
this
ago?
past one, but the year before.
Yeah, was it like a year and a half ago?
And we both thoroughly enjoy this.
Oh,
we're going to talk about what we
absolutely.
like and not talk about anything we don't like because there isn't much. But nonetheless, Lon Chaney Jr., the star of the show, plays Larry Talbot and the Wolfman. But we'll start with the good. And I mean, this is probably my second favorite Universal Monster movie. I mean, not everybody knows, but you know, and most people that know me know that the creature. I have a soft spot for the creature. But 1941 Wolfman. I mean, it's not too far behind for me.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
If you're gonna say the Wolfman's your favorite, I'm gonna respect the hell out of you.
What I am gonna say, Will, is that I have seen 2.
Well, that's fair. What was the other one you've seen?
Creature.
Oh, so my 2 favorites.
Yeah. So they're 1 and 2 for me too.
Frank's up there for me too.
Yeah. Love Frank.
And then I enjoy all of them, but I mean that's the big 3 for me.
Sure, yeah. Especially after watching all the Invisible Man stuff, the Lee Whannell stuff, I really want to go back and see the original Invisible Man.
We should do just a Universal Monster rewatch one day.
Oh my God.
Watch like the 6 major. I mean, they're only like an hour long.
You could do a good Universal Monsters movie draft too.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's really like, if you're getting into it, there's like 30 of them.
Yeah, if you count
the
Mummy.
There's the Abbott Costello's meeting.
Yeah. The
and the Wolfman.
crossovers.
Yeah,
There's also like the Brandon Fraser Mummy movies. There's a Tom Cruise Mummy movie. Dracula Untold. I mean,
then there's people that there's Universal Monster movies that like people don't even talk about, like Murder in the Rue Morgue came out in 1932. That's another one.
Sure.
And there's a lot of those like one-off ones that people don't really talk about.
shit people just didn't
because it
latch
doesn't
onto.
have Wolfman attached to it or Frankenstein attached to it.
The
type
big
of-
names, yeah.
Yeah, so you could definitely have a
That was easy. That was by far like the first like movie connected universe, wasn't it?
Probably. I
right?
mean,
It'd almost have to be.
I know Disney was early, but I don't think those movies were really connected.
No, I think they decided that within like the last like 20 years.
Yeah, so I would say this is probably MCU.
Yeah,
You're talking about
And
talking
even
about modern
then,
universes. This was out 100 years before that. You know?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it kicked off in 31 with, I don't know which one came out first, but Dracula and Frank. I love calling him Frank. Dracula and Frank both came out in 31. So I believe it started with Frankenstein, but don't quote me on that.
I think so too.
Just seems like that was the first monster movie, like in Universal Monsters.
Oh, for sure. It feels like the first movie. I'm just kidding. But yes,
Great
I
movie.
agree.
But we're here to talk about The Wolfman. Actually came out
excited.
10 years after the start of the Universal Monsters. So a little gap
Interesting.
between my boy Frank and my boy Larry. But Frank, Larry, and Creature, man.
Frank,
the big
Larry,
3.
You call him Crete, you know?
Crete.
Frank, Larry, and Crete.
But no, this one, I mean, this is just like obviously black and white, and you and I, that doesn't kill a movie for us. I actually really enjoy a black and white
My favorite
movie.
MCU movie is a black and white hour special.
That
Based
movie
off
draws a lot of inspiration from this one,
Yeah,
too.
obviously.
So,
that's probably why I loved Man Wolf so much. I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I knew where they were drawing that from, obviously, but phenomenal.
This, it's just got a lot of style to it.
Oh, man. Absolutely.
Like, you wouldn't expect it because there's no color, but, like, they do a really good job in creating the setting that you're in.
Absolutely.
And especially like when you're in the woods, it's just like you can tell it's a set.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the 40s.
It's if you look past the first row of trees, it's obviously
but it's just like every time we're in the woods, I'm like, dude, I love this.
Oh my god. It's because it's like the classic Halloween. Like when you think Halloween or even walking in like a spirit Halloween, it's always black, but you have gray smoke fog coming up through and there's random trees around or whatever. I mean, it's the most like one-to-one Halloween thing I can think of, honestly.
You get some really good shots in the woods too, like the one where he like first peers around the tree.
Oh yeah, yeah. And they're like, "What is that? A rat?"
Yeah, like it's. This was a movie that I fortunately got to grow up with a lot of these Universal monster movies, which was nice, and I think that's why I have such a soft spot for him as somebody that's 25 years old and loves old movies. Shout out Gammy and Papa for having Creature, Wolfman, and Frank on tape.
Shout out Gammy and Papa.
But so these movies always just have a soft spot with me, and every rewatch, it's just they're nostalgic for me, which is crazy because they came out. I mean, this movie came out 58 years before I was born, and it has nostalgia for me.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's the style. It's a cool story. It's basic bare bones werewolf story, but
it's like, I don't know. Sometimes like in Hollywood, you get so bored with like they're trying to take the simple moral lessons and they try to throw a coating of great action and great this, great that, and sometimes it's just nice to go back and be like, just give me the moral lesson on the storefront, where it's like it's a man and his battle between good and evil. It doesn't need to go any deeper than that. Sometimes that's okay.
And this movie also kind of set some of the lore up for werewolves. Obviously, a lot of the Universal monsters are based off of books, but like I love the opening definition of lycanthrope we get. I just think that's a nice little touch.
Oh my god, yeah. I love how much we're like werewolves are silver bullets. And even like on my rewatch of this, I'm like, they use like a silver bullet or whatever. Both man wolf deaths, just somebody getting the shit beat out of them with a silver cane. Yeah. Every time it happened, I was like, Jesus.
When I was a kid, I obviously didn't understand the silver conversation as much. And I always thought when I painted the movie in my head, I'm like, oh, that's a gold wolf. But it's obviously not, because it has to be silver.
Because it wouldn't have worked.
But
I love the mystery behind it too, by the way, where they're like, oh, he killed this man and whatever. I think that's really interesting. He turns into a man and you're like, well, clearly he beat this man to death with this club.
Yeah, which shout out, that was Bela Lugosi, so kind of Dracula. He has his. I mean, he's also in Murders in the Room, or he has his toe in just about every Universal monster project. I'm pretty sure. So
good. Good.
But yeah, he played Bella, who was,
it's like their Stan Lee.
He was, honestly, he's just popping out.
Pops up there. He's like, just so you know, these are all the same
giving people their fortune in this movie.
God.
But, and he plays the first wolf, when you really think about it. Lon Chaney, is talked about as the Wolfman, but if you think about it, Bela Lugosi was the first.
That's true.
He plays, his wolf is more wolf-like than wolfman-like.
Right. Which I definitely see that inspiration coming with Lee Whannell's.
Yeah.
For sure. And I love all that stuff. I just love the little look between the bushes and whatever and all that stuff. Definitely creates that.
Yeah. Honestly, for a movie, again, that's black and white and in the 40s, this movie's visually stunning.
Yeah. Oh,
even with the effects, too, the transition of the feet, for 1941, I always thought that looked amazing.
Good. That
you're obviously not going to get the CG, you're not going to get the effects you get today, or even the effects that you'd get 30 years after this movie. But for 1941, I was like, that's a pretty good transition.
I mean, there's a lot of good things like the transformations, transitions, all that stuff. I love the effect that they do with the pentagram on the hand. That's my favorite part of the movie, just because there's that sense of him just being like, oh no,
you're my next victim.
Yeah. Man, what a great sense of foreboding.
Yeah. Shout out to Lon Chaney. He killed it.
Yeah.
I love him as Larry Talbot, and I really just we were just obviously in the Christmas season, and It's a Wonderful Life, and I'm watching, I'm like, you obviously, as time has progressed, I feel like acting has just gotten better.
Yeah, it's gotten less theatrical.
There's something that's the big thing. Yeah. There's just something about the charm. that a 40s acting has.
It's campy and yeah, for sure. And which is what really got me on the second watch. I don't know what it was, but something about looking at Lon Chaney, I'm like, looking at this guy, he doesn't seem like a guy who would agree to do like a man wolf situation.
Yeah,
like he doesn't seem like he'd be like, oh, I'm gonna wolf out kind of. But he does. He goes for it.
Yeah.
But when you look at him, he just looks like a boring businessman.
Yeah.
He looks like he looks like in real life he'd have the tough guy demeanor of like, oh, I wouldn't do any stupid monster crap.
Yeah, and then he's wooing what's her
Gwen.
name? Yeah, Gwen, and like.
Stirring on the charm.
Yeah,
like
I know,
a creep. Let's be honest. Things are different now.
Started with a little telescope.
Yeah,
a little telescope action.
We're going out at 8. No. Yeah, I'll see you at 8. Yeah, that's not cool anymore. Actually,
but
it's one of the times though.
Another thing in the good for me is this is still one of my favorite wolves, like werewolves in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like just the look of it.
Yeah. Are you sure it wasn't one of those Frank Grillo ones?
No.
Okay.
Which I thought those looked decent, but like I don't know, there's something about like the basic just furry man
makeup
look where he's on his tippy toes and he's wearing like the dress pants with the button up over the fur coat. Like
I'm a sucker for that look too. I mean, like I said, like mine's probably werewolf by night. Like I love that like practical.
Yeah.
Obviously effects have gotten better and stuff like that, but there's something about that open button shirt, furs coming out it's different, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
To me, it still holds up. Just the look of the wolf.
Whenever you talk about Universal monster movies, I feel like music-wise, Dracula is always the first to get brought up. Like, there's some good music in this here, too.
Yeah.
You kind of get the same, the stingers, the horror, like, brrr, kind of big wells of music and whatever, and crescendos and whatever. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
It's so campy and hammy. And, but it fits.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just a good movie, man.
Yeah, I think it has great set design too. Like whenever they go out and they see like all the Romani people, with all their tents up and whatever, and fortune tellers and all that kind of stuff. And then they have like right next to it, obviously is the woods, and then next to that is like the carnival, and that's all kind of one thing. I mean,
Talbot Castle, and then the shop that he goes and talks to Gwen, and I think the shop is always cool. I always love it because I'm like, man, either these stores were built really short or these dudes are huge. Because if you watch Lon Chaney walk into the store after Bella's death, he's like 6 inches from the ceiling. Man.
Oh, yeah. I honestly, I'm not just trying to guess. I do think it is short ceiling.
Yeah,
because at hindsight, these guys are like 5'5".
Probably. He looks huge in this movie.
He does look.
I mean,
he might be a bigger dude. He's a pretty tall. He looks
might
tall.
be. I mean, you probably cast as big as you can get, considering you're trying to get a hulking wolf man. You know,
that's true. That's true. I mean, even like I remember at some point he turned his back and he like raises his arms or something. And also, like, in Suits, we don't really do, like, the shoulder pad thing anymore. Yeah. But I remember being like, God, the wingspan of that man is like a dragon. Yeah. Good grief.
Dude could have started the NBA.
Absolutely, yeah.
But, no, this is just, again, I'm just going to go back to it. It's a great movie. When you're talking about Universal Monsters, it's in the conversation for the best for me.
Tone, setting, all of the above works for me, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have much to say other than that. It's just there's not a lot of plot or anything. Again, I love that like they go into a little bit of philosophy about the battle between good and evil and a man's soul and whatever. And you see here and there like there's some there's some potential for that guy to make some mistakes. But I putting the necklace around Gwen and whatever, like that's all great foreshadowing.
And then the Lauren Lycanthrope and werewolf, and if they're talking about what's the plant called, Wolfsbane. Wolfsbane, yeah. If Wolfbane's blooming and the moon, like it's just fun. They have their little quips.
I like the manhunt too. We haven't talked about that. That it's kind of like the shit you shot Ted Hollister or whatever. Yeah. Where they're just like, we're gonna go out and kill a wolf man. It's like, all of you were questioning this 5 minutes ago, and now you're all ready to commit wolfman murder.
Yeah. I only have one man in this movie, and it's honestly I do too. I wish it was longer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess I have 2 minutes.
I mean, it's a 70-minute movie, and I don't think we're missing much. It's just I could have used more terrorization of the Wolfman.
Yeah, honestly. Sure. Yeah, he's really not the Wolfman himself, like very much.
It's 1941, so you also got to think the budget and like what could they have gotten away with.
Not to mention, I mean, cutting those reels in real time. I mean, it's not, you're not using Final Cut. You have the final cut with a pair of fucking scissors.
Yeah. And I mean, I say that now, but if they ever released an extended cut and I ended up not liking it, I'd obviously eat my words.
Yeah.
But
then there's a chance. And there's a chance because it was made in the 40s. But as far as it is, it's perfect where it sits, honestly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What was your one, man?
His dad, I don't think they casted that guy old enough. When they
fair.
When they stand next to each other, I'm like, are they like, is that his butler? Like, are they cousins or like brothers
Batman
or something?
And Alfred.
Dude, are you kidding? It's like Batman and fucking Nightwing, dude. like honestly.
Dude, there are moments where I guess Larry Talbot probably looks a little bit older.
When I look at Larry, honest to God, again, I've seen the movie before, but rewatching it, there's a few scenes where I'm like, am I sure that's his dad? Yeah. And then he was like, none of you are touching my boy. And I'm like, it could be just a homie.
Yeah, I can get behind that math. For sure.
He's a little too. You know what it is? Also, with it being black and white, his hair doesn't come through as being that gray or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, he looked 40 and you look 51.
Yeah. We'll have to do our research. How tall is Lon Chaney and how old are these two guys when this movie was made?
I would like to know.
But I don't have anything in the bad.
No, I don't have anything in the bad either. I mean, what could you... You know what? The only thing I could put in the bad is that it was made in the 40s. And that means original copies of those VHS tapes, probably hard to get in mint condition. Yeah. That's it. Do reprinting. That would be awesome.
Yeah. I'm hoping, like, with the I want to say...
There's a bit of a resurgence.
There's a resurgence, and then part of me says that, and then it's another thing where I'm like, I liked it before and it was cool, but...
No, that's true. And also the problem is, if it does become cool, that's going to get way expensive. Yeah. So maybe it's better off this way.
My words, yeah. We'll hop to our final thoughts and ratings. What do you want to leave off with The Wolfman?
I mean,
what do you give it out of 10?
Personally, it's just a great holiday movie. Obviously, Halloween. Any other holiday would be kind of ludicrous.
Yeah.
But it has a great setting, a great tone, a great vibe. It would be hard pressed for me to give it that low of a score when, frankly, like movies like Batman 89, I don't think it's a phenomenal movie, but the tone of it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And that alone makes it like a 10.
Yeah.
You know, and again, just being an older, vibey, you know, original Universal monster movie. This is the first one I've really loved. The bar's kind of hard to top after this one, so I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
Okay, we are in agreement. I'm going 9 out of 10. So,
copycat.
I'm sorry. You know, I feel like we're gonna be pretty close to each other on this Wolfman series. I mean, we had Invisible Man. I think you were 10. I'm 9. With 9 here. So we'll see. Next will be Wolfman 2010.
That one, I can see that being divisive.
Maybe.
And I honestly don't know what to think about Lee Wanell, so...
That's true. I guess we might hit a cap here. I mean, we'll see. I'm excited. This is going to be a fun week of, you know, just talking about the wolf.
It's nice to look on your content wall and be like, oh, it's all about me again. Oh! Back in my throne.
Kory gets 6 episodes, catching back up to Rosie for most appearances.
I'm going to etch my name in this chair.
Yeah. You both have the right now. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a very good movie, man.
It's great.
It's one where you watch like I just did, and it makes you want to dive into more of the Universal monsters, which
absolutely
I've definitely seen most of them throughout my life. The big ones I've definitely rewatched more than some of the lesser known ones. Like when I'm talking about my big 3, those 3 I've probably seen at least 10 times each. Especially but.
Yeah, I would love to do a deep dive on those and talk about them more.
It's a nice rewatch too because they're all like an hour long. So it's like it's like watching a TV series.
You know what? Tonight I might go home and watch Frankenstein. Honestly, I don't know what else.
It's worth the watch.
I might do. Yeah, that might be the way to go.
But yeah, go check out 1941 Wolfman if you haven't already. What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Especially if you're going to see the 2025 one, at least see where the inspiration is being drawn from.
Absolutely, I think at the very least, watching the rest of them. I don't really care. At least watch the original one before you... It's well worth it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not saying you have to go out there and watch 2010 or watch The Howling or Silver Bullet. I love Silver Bullet, but...
Or Silver Cane. No, I'm just kidding.
that'll do it for the Wolfman 1941. Kory, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
Thank you all for watching. If you like what you're watching, check out some of these other videos. Hit the subscribe button or follow the social links down below. Thank you all for watching. Go check out the Wolfman 1941. And then, of course, check out Lee Wannell's movie coming out this week. It's a full moon this week, so you might as well. It's the perfect time. But we will talk to you all soon. Peace.